Okay, so let's continue with the story when the angel saved my life after my near fatal auto accident. This is day 9 of 365 days of giving away my services for free, as well as cultivating New Earth business models to prove that when we operate within the laws of infinite gifting and return, that the universe will not only provide for us, but that they will provide abundantly. Okay, so to recap where I left off, I'll do a quick recap of when the angel saved my life and then go into the next part. So basically, long story short, it was Christmas Eve, year 2000. I was on my way to Northern California to visit my parents for Christmas. It was me and my sister, and I fell asleep at the wheel. We got stuck in a drainage ravine. Nobody saw us go off the road. When I gained consciousness, I realized we were down there alone. I screamed for help. Then I realized I became desperate and I started praying. As soon as I started praying, I heard a voice come out of the sky. It was a male voice, and it was coming from about 100 meters to my left. And the voice said, "Come this way." So I started crawling towards the voice. When I got to where the voice was coming from, there was nobody there. But I looked over to my left and I saw a big pile of cement bags, big enough to where I could climb up to the frontage road that was running alongside the highway that we had come off of. If you want to hear more of that part in detail, you can go to the last Storytime video on my page. It's just labeled Storytime, when a divine being saved my life. But we were rushed to the hospital. She was airlifted. I was went by ambulance. And during that time, I was tripping out. There were so many emotions going through me. The guilt of my sister, hurting my sister. She is all I could think about. I just wanted to know she was okay. I kept asking, "Is my sister okay? Is my sister okay?" Of course, they couldn't tell me anything at the time. She ended up being okay. But she had basically the injury she sustained where she completely shattered her entire hip. So pretty gnarly. And I was just overcome with guilt, overcome for falling asleep at the wheel. I was overcome with just grief and shock because I knew that an angel saved our lives. Things were running through my mind, lots of things running through my mind. So at first they thought that I had only broke my foot, and they were sort of scrubbing me down. I had a bunch of cuts on my face, cuts everywhere, stuff like that. They were scrubbing me down, and they turned me over to my side, and all of a sudden something in my stomach burst when they turned me over to my side, and I screamed out. And they were like, "What's your pain on a level of 1 to 10? I was like, 10. It was the most excruciating pain I've ever felt in my entire life. And they rushed me, they did an x-ray, and they rushed me into emergency surgery to see what was going on. It was sort of like an exploratory surgery. And they realized I had ruptured my duodenum, which is, hold on real quick. Okay, sorry about that. I was cooking my rice. But basically, I had ruptured my duodenum, and that is basically part of your digestive system. And it holds all of like the toxins and stuff that your body holds from the food you eat and so on and so forth. That spilled all over my intestines and all over some of my organs. So the doctor had to go in and literally like hand scrape off all of my intestines, all of my organs. He was able to patch it back together. And so that was sort of that part of it. I ended up, at that point, I had to feed out of a tube for at least, I think it was 2 months after that. And we were in intensive care in the hospital for about 2 weeks. So sort of fast forward to after coming out of surgery, again, shock, grief, it was just gnarly. Excuse me, hold on. And this is when I noticed my gifts had come online, my psychic gifts had come online. I was hearing clairaudiently. I was hearing a voice basically in my mind's ear, I guess you could say. I'm not really sure how to explain that. And I started getting a bunch of downloads about what I was supposed to do, why I was here, stuff that was happening in the world, a bunch of stuff. And my soul was activated. Like I had this awakening of this feeling of like, oh my, just like this intense, almost desperate feeling of like, oh my God, what have I done? Like, what have I done in my life to help people? Like, my soul awakened, and while it did, it was like it had this like intense drive to be of service. That's all I cared about. That's all I wanted to do. I have spent my life just doing stupid shit. What have I done for humanity? You know what I mean? It's just like this fire was lit within me. And along with it, the gifts started activating, and I started getting all these downloads. One of them was, that I was supposed to start playing music. I hadn't started playing music, and I'll go into that a little bit down the road. And so much, so overwhelming. Just the thought that like an angel had saved my life was just, why me? Why me? I should have done more for God. Guilt about my sister again. So many things. As far as my sister goes, she did end up healing completely. She still has pain in her hips when she tries to move around, but she was able to give birth to 3 healthy boys naturally. I remember when she gave birth to her first son, I was there, and I literally prayed so hard. I literally was kneeling down in the what do you want to call it, room where they give birth. I was praying so hard that my pores came out almost, and my face looked like it had like a bunch of little bumps all over it. Like I was sweating. I don't know how to explain it, but thank God she was able to give birth successfully. It didn't rupture, nothing broke. That was a spiritual experience in itself. My sister gave birth to her first son. She named him Christopher. Her name was Mary, and the doctor's name was Joseph. Like, what are the odds of that? And then while she was giving birth, I was praying to Saint Anne, which is Mary's grandmother, right? I'm spiritually universal now, but I was raised Catholic. So I was still more in my religious phase, and I eventually, once my gifts came online, I was shown so much more and sort of broke out of like the Catholic box, and I'm now more universally spiritual. But the nurse that was helping Joseph was named Anne. I have chills all over my body. So my sister's name is Mary. My nephew who was being born was named Christopher. The doctor was named Joseph. And as I'm praying the novena to Saint Anne, the nurse comes in and her name's Anne. So crazy. But yeah, I think I'll leave it here, and I'll go into take it off from there. If you'd like to listen to part 1, you can go back. It's under story time. It's probably about 5 videos back or so from this. But I'm sending you guys lots of love, and I will talk to you soon.